I'm Tammy Coleman, Associate Director of Connectional Ministries. And in this video segment of Safe Sanctuaries Training, we want to talk about observing and responding. It is important for us to observe our surroundings and to make sure that our facilities are safe. It's also important for us to know how to respond effectively. Do you remember the image that we have previously used in our other segments about Safe Sanctuaries trainings? About a lifeguard. And a lifeguard is to guard a pool or a body of water to make sure that those patrons who are participating are safe and to respond if needed in a situation. Scripture tells us that 2 is always better than 1. And that is true whether you're a lifeguard in a pool or whether you're a volunteer in a church. 2 is always better than 1. That is why we ask that you follow the 2 adult rule. One of the things that we ask is that the 2 adults who are serving together in a ministry setting are not related. The reason for this is because of spousal immunity. I know I have served in a church for a number of years, and I know it's difficult to get 1 volunteer, much less 2. And that often a couple may find it meaningful to serve together in an area and to teach Sunday school maybe for youth together, or to serve as counselors for a children's event. The reason why we ask that they are non-related is because if an accusation were to be made and that situation were to go to trial, one spouse could not testify on behalf or against another spouse. And so it's important that another person be present in order to protect in a situation like that. Often this can be done with a roamer or someone who is considered a floater. And this person just roams from room to room, making sure that ministry is happening in open view, and making sure that nothing is taking place that should not be taking place. It was just a few years ago that a mother with 3 children went into a church for the first time. She left her children with the local church nursery workers and children's church volunteers. The next morning, on Monday morning, she went back to that church and accused the nursery workers of abusing her child. The church took the necessary precautions and made the necessary phone calls and reported that abuse. That incident was investigated, and it came out that no abuse had taken place that morning. There were 3 volunteers in the nursery that morning who were able to testify on behalf of each other to their innocence. That mother was traveling from church to church, unfortunately, seeking to accuse someone of abuse in order that she may receive money from a lawsuit. Again, Safe Sanctuaries is put in place to help protect our children and our youth and our vulnerable adults, as well as you as volunteers. And when we have more than 1 person in the room with each other, then we are able to add a layer of that protection. An adult must be a supervisor, and that adult must be 18 years or older. Often I'm asked the question about youth. Can a youth help out? We want to encourage our youth to serve in our churches. We want them to be involved in our ministries. Often Vacation Bible School and Children's Church are a great way for them to volunteer of their time and service. But they cannot be the one who is in charge of the ministry. They cannot be the supervisor. An adult must be the one who is in charge. And the youth can be the second person in the room helping out. Another guideline that we have in our policy is that a person must be at least 4 years or older than those that they are supervising. And this includes our youth who are helping out. Often if a young youth, a young teenager is helping with Children's Church, and they are only a couple years older than those that they are helping with, they do not receive the same respect, and they do not, the young children do not listen to them as they would an older teenager. I remember after my freshman year of college, returning home for the summer and volunteering as a youth counselor for my youth group that I had been involved with all during high school. I wanted to be in charge of the senior high girls, but thankfully the wisdom of our youth director and our youth counselors said, no, Tammy, you would better serve as the youth counselor for the 7th grade girls for the summer. Now I see their wisdom. My friends in senior high would not have respected me. They would not have listened to me. And that could have produced a dangerous situation. But instead, I had a great ministry experience with 7th grade girls who looked up to this college student, and it was a great situation all around. There are some situations that Safe Sanctuaries may need to be addressed differently than what happens on our week-to-week basis of ministry that happens in our churches. Overnight trips are one of those situations. We need to make sure that Safe Sanctuaries is being followed. Often this can be difficult to decide about counseling situations as well as room assignments. But again, we invite your Safe Sanctuaries team of your local church to think through those situations and to make sure that we are providing a safe environment for our children and youth. Also, another way that we need to think through Safe Sanctuaries is when we're collaborating with other churches. It may be churches of our own denomination or churches of another denomination. Maybe we're working together to have a community vacation Bible school or a youth ministry event. Or maybe our district is coming together to host an event. All of those are great ministry opportunities, and we need to make sure that Safe Sanctuaries continues to be followed with them.